Hey, and welcome back to Distill 405. I'm Dan.
I'm John.
And we are going to taste more whiskey. John has an awesome collection. I think if this is the second video I posted, we tasted one of his videos, or one of his whiskeys prior, the Kleinlish Game of Thrones.
Yes, sir.
So John, what bottle did you bring for us to try next, man?
The Kavalan ex-bourbon cask. So,
this is cool.
This is a cool whiskey.
This is a cool whiskey.
So a little bit of backstory to
It's
this.
like opening a briefcase.
It is. So awesome leather case. It's got a really great. It's got a really great interior too. This is a really cool whiskey. Man. So I lived in Southwest Kansas for about a year, and while I was working my first job out of school, and I happened into Liberal, Kansas, of all places, and they had this on their shelf. $150, which this usually goes for somewhere around the $200 range.
It's even got a desiccant in there.
Yeah, this bottle is pretty legit. If you're not super familiar with Kleinlish, I'm gonna hand this off to you so you can pour some drams. So Kavalan, they are a Taiwanese whiskey. They're probably the best known in the United States. They bottle nothing with age statements because the angel share is so high there. So all of their stuff is relatively young. They have won a world whiskey a while back. It was the Vino Barrique Solace. This isn't a Solace. It's still a great whiskey, and according to my research, this is still about the kind of the closest comparison to the Solace that I can find. I don't know that they are available in the United States, but this is pretty much the same thing. So it's ex-bourbon cask. There's no chill filtering, and you can actually see some particulates in the bottom of the bottle. It's pretty cool. So
particulates, a lot of times you see that in unchilled. Oh man, I can't get that pour right. Sorry. You see that a lot in like very naturally presented whiskeys, high ABVs, whiskeys that haven't been chill filtered. I've always called it just like I actually talked to the people at Compass Box because I noticed it in some of their whiskeys. It's just little particulates. You can't really see it on camera, but just stuff floating around. And they said they call it distillery dust, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but they said it's just kind of like, you know, little bits and pieces of wood and leftover cask that doesn't get 100% filtered out, which I think that's awesome, man.
So to me, what that indicates is one, that's pretty transparent. I think that's cool because one, they're saying we're literally taking this out of the cask, we're pumping it through the pipes, and we're putting it.
It's going through a very minimalist coarse filter, and a lot of that stuff's making it into the bottle. It's completely harmless, but it's very cool. Man, look at that color though. That is just. So the ABV, I don't know if we talked about it, or did you?
I haven't mentioned it yet.
So the ABV is 55.6%. This is bottle number 17 of 184. It's bottled at cask strength, non-chill filtered, and natural coloring. It says right on.
So that kind of speaks to the.
That's awesome.
To the particulates and the things that we see kind of in the bottle. I keep this back for kind of special occasions because it's a really unique and it's a really cool bottle. These bottles have gone up significantly. I almost bought a Vino Barrique a year or two ago, and it was about $200, and now the same bottle is over $350.
That's unbelievable.
And that's in Texas too.
So everybody's familiar with Japanese whiskey. Most people who enjoy whiskey, Japanese whiskey's exploded. It's doubled, tripled, quadrupled in price over the years. Everybody's realizing how great quality it is, and the prices have become pretty inflated. But the same thing's kind of happened with Taiwanese whiskeys. They are making really uber good quality stuff. Their environment, the temperatures there lend themselves to aging whiskey very quickly, just like in, we talked about Texas on some of the past videos, how they can age whiskey so quickly because the heat is so extreme. Taiwan's very similar.
India is the other big
India
one.
is the same way.
A lot of their, like Paul John and Amrut, those are the two big boys kind of in the Indian player, in the Indian whiskey game. And I think the oldest age statement they have on any of their whiskeys was a 10-year-old, and the angel share was so high that they almost couldn't bottle it. It was pretty remarkable. So these are really unique whiskeys.
So this is 100% bourbon casking, so no sherry or anything like that.
So this is even lighter than the Kleinlish.
Oh, very light, very light straw, kind of a light, not even a honey, just a light straw. Beautiful, very clear. The nose.
This is pretty hot.
I'm immediately getting, it's hot. So immediately, like he's right, the alcohol is very apparent. It's that very straight up ethanol alcohol. Behind that, is a lot of tropical fruits. To me, you know, I've talked in some other videos, you've got sherry bombs or peat bombs. This is a tropical fruit basket. This is a tropical bomb. I'm getting kiwi, pineapples, mangoes.
There's a heavy dose of coconut in there, and
yes,
so you get a lot of coconut from ex-bourbon barrels, and you get a lot of coconut notes in Scotch as well. So this is similar, but it's turned up a notch. It's even more.
It's even more tropical. One of the most tropical smelling whiskeys. And I'm going to add. We've spent some time with this one before, as you can tell. Me and him have kind of shared it over time. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to help tame some of that alcohol. To me, this one doesn't take a ton. Just a little.
I'm going to try it at cask strength.
Yeah, you let us know. I've spent a little time with this one. And I kind of know. Yeah, that alcohol takes a back seat, and the tropical notes come through. And I'm also getting beyond just the tropical in the nose. I'm also getting this background of creaminess. Like it's
mouth feels awesome.
It's almost like it's like a tropical smoothie. So now I'm getting some milk almost involved in the nose. So
the mouth feels incredible. It's oily. It's very viscous. The finish is actually quite short, which is a little disappointing. But everything else is just incredible. At cask strength, I get like a mango like slurry almost, or slush.
That is a hot whiskey though. Mm-hmm. I mean, not in a bad way, but it's intense. It's intense, sure, man. And it is mouth coating, extremely dry, like cottonmouthy dry. And that high ABV, it just envelops your mouth. You're left very dry. The finish is pretty short. But on the palate, I'm getting the tropical fruits. I'm getting a little bit more darker fruit notes, so like not cherries or any of the red fruits, but like in the tropical fruit realm, it's kind of got a creamier taste to it and less of the brightness. So I'm still getting the pineapple, the mangoes, coconut, definitely coconut, maybe a touch of banana.
I just got that banana, and it was more toward the finish, more on the end. That's a really good whiskey, man.
That is a phenomenal whiskey, and it's. I would compare it more to a Scotch if I had to compare it to anything.
Yep.
But it is its own thing. It's
sure.
The Taiwanese stuff and the Indian stuff and the Japanese stuff, they're all different, especially the distillery, but they follow a same vein, just like Scotch and just like bourbon does.
Sure.
And you can tell when you taste it that it's Taiwanese, but man, is it phenomenal. It is a somewhat short finish.
But I don't want that to sound like we're detracting. No. Because that's probably the low point on this whiskey. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would still give it a 6. Yeah, it's still not a bad finish. It's just short compared to everything else.
It is. Yeah. You just expect it to be a little bit longer.
Sure.
Does it really detract from it? Not really, because the palate is just so phenomenal. The nose is so phenomenal.
With water, I noticed that it's more creamy, more malty.
It is
cereal.
Yeah, more cereal. That you get more of that straw and more maltiness.
And it definitely tunes down. I didn't add, but maybe 3 or 4 drops. It tunes down those fruit notes, which it isn't necessarily a bad thing. It completely depends on how you want to enjoy your whiskey. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with adding water and watering this down and bringing it down to like a 40 or 45. Or enjoying it at cask strength.
Absolutely.
We've spent a lot of time with some cask strength bourbons that will, like, it feels like it's sucking the water out of your mouth, just like we're talking about. And that's not a bad thing.
That's what you feel like at the time. Yeah, absolutely. Phenomenal whiskey, man. And I know if you could get it again at this price that you paid for, what did you say you paid in Kansas? Like
$150.
$150. I know you'd buy it in a heartbeat if you could find it at that price. I would buy it at a heartbeat if I found it. This is on our kind of buy, no questions asked list in the future. At those kind of prices where they should be, not the inflated prices that we're starting to see today.
And they have some other really unique bottlings. The Vino Barrique, it's a little confusing as to what they actually mean by that. It's finished in wine barrels. They're not overly. They don't give too much information away.
So Vino is wine and Barrique is a barrel.
So they don't tell you what sort of wine barrel they're using. It won the World Whiskey of the Year a few years back. They have a sherry cask that's pretty well renowned. They've got a number of different things out there that if you're looking for something that's unique and that is a Scotch-like, or you're just looking for something that's a little different and you've got some extra money to spend, this would be a great bottle to buy.
It's refreshing, take a break from Scotch and other things, and just kind of expand your palate.
Yeah, and to his point, this is it's most like a Scotch, but it is not a Scotch by far.
Just a Japanese whiskey and Indian whiskey, but it's phenomenal, man. Thank you so much for bringing it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to hit that
Appreciate
subscribe button
Thanks.
and like button, and keep watching for more videos. Cheers.
Cheers.